Hey everyone, welcome to the Believe in Yourself Heart and Mind podcast, where I have a special guest on the show, Jerecy, and he's going to be talking to you about how he started with branding, but also a backstory of what led him to this pivotal experience of becoming a brand strategist on LinkedIn, and also just in general, what it took for him to think about what he wanted to do with his clients or anything that involves self-development on his end. So Jerecy, if you could provide us with a background of who you are and then jump into a journey, a story of a journey on going from graphic design to becoming specialized in brand strategy.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for the introduction, by the way. But yeah, like I feel like a lot of designers get into this for like the creativity and like the visual aspect of it. But I feel like there was always, I don't know, there was like always something more um like behind it. So I guess we can just go like when I first started. Um, so I was kind of like at a loss. I didn't really know like what I wanted to do. I lacked like a lot of purpose with my life. So I just like tried to explore all things that I found kind of interesting, and then yeah, I found design. Like I feel like that really resonated with me at the time. Um, and I always had like limiting beliefs of like my creativity because I was never like the best drawer. Like I never had that like aspects or that skill set beforehand. So there's a lot of limiting beliefs on that end. And design, you didn't really need to go in that direction so much. You didn't need to like really know how to draw. You just had to learn like a lot of the softwares and how to create using using like computer skills. So yeah, that really drew an interest with me. So I went to this design school for around, it was like a very fast-paced, accelerated program. It was like around 5 months. Um, and yeah, it really opened my eyes to a lot of different things. I've never been surrounded in a creative environment like that with a bunch of similar like-minded creative people. And yeah, it just really justified my decision to really go in this area of my life and to really go in terms of my career with this direction. So yeah, like the 5 months just flew by. And yeah, I learned so many different things about design, the principles, everything around it, the fundamentals. And yeah, I really grew passionate about it. And yeah, so like around 3 months after I graduated the program, I found a job. And I feel like everyone's like first job at a school isn't like the best experience, and that was really no different for me. So they were cool moments where I like learned a lot, especially when it comes to like designing like firsthand in the real world and learning a lot of other skills that relate to it, like marketing and copywriting, social media, like just building brands. But it wasn't it wasn't the best environment. There's a lot of like shady practices that they did. And I won't like go into detail about all the things that happened there, but just to make it a little bit brief, um I just felt very burned out at the end, and I didn't really do even that much design work. It wasn't really fulfilling me that well. So, and yeah, it just really turned me off to working a 9 to 5 and doing that kind of work. So, after that, I really tried to explore other opportunities at other like workplaces. And um after shortly after that though, like COVID hit. So It was really hard to find any kind of work. So I really tried to explore freelancing and going down that road. And yeah, just watch like a bunch of YouTube videos, just try to like educate myself into starting like a freelancing kind of business. Um, and then I discovered like posting content and creating a personal brand. So I started doing that, just sharing like my work. At first I just started like sharing like design work. But then I soon realized like that's not really providing enough value for potential clients. So then I went down the road of sharing like my knowledge and what the process of design is, and just sharing that kind of knowledge. And as I soon discovered by just posting and consuming like branding content, design content, marketing, social media, um, just just surrounding myself in that kind of environment with different kinds of creators. Um, I soon realized like, oh, you can do brand strategy, like you can like really find more purpose into your design work, and there's like a deeper why, there's like more strategy behind it. It's just not visuals, it's not just like the aesthetics. There's more to it than that, and that
Yeah.
really,
And I think we're gonna
yeah,
get straight into that part of the why.
yeah.
And you explained so much already in terms of like how you pivoted from being just going from graphic design into something that's a little bit similar, but still
Mhm.
within your niche. I'm
Mhm.
just curious though, you said that you started off feeling like you weren't as creative, like having all these limited beliefs, but
Yeah.
you still threw yourself into the process of creating. Did you
Mhm.
just know or have this idea that you were just like, I'm a creative person? Like what allowed you to think that way that helped you to push yourself forward?
Yeah, sure. I've never like the logical side of my brain, like math and science and all that. That just never really resonated with me and fulfilled me in any way. And like the creative stuff, like I have a bunch of tattoos, like just like creativity in general, that just like always resonated with me in some form. I've always like had an interest in that. But yeah, there were limiting beliefs as to what I could like do with that. Like I know I always wanted to do something creative, but when you think of creativity, you think of like art and drawing and that sort of thing. So I never really gave that a fair shot, but I was at a point where I'm like, I need to do something. I need to like make like go forward, because I was just very lost. So I definitely there was definitely some risk involved, because I wasn't totally sure if I could su succeed with any kind of creative skill set. So there was definitely an element of risk there, and yeah, definitely paid off, because I honestly can't think of anything I'd rather do at this moment. And obviously, like you said, there's moments in your life where you'll probably pivot. I'm not saying like this is probably going to be the thing I do for the rest of my life. Anything can change. Like you're always gonna grow and evolve over time. But at this present moment, I feel like this is something that I really want to really get really good at and provide value for other people. So yeah, there's definitely some risk involved, but it definitely paid off in the end.
Yeah. So I'm hearing that you want to provide value, you're willing to take the risk, and then you also face your limiting beliefs. How did that all come about in terms of um, figuring out that you at least want to attempt this? Because sometimes when people start something, and it's
Hmm.
risky, or you have limiting beliefs, or
Hmm.
all these things that are kind of like factors where people would say, I'm too afraid.
Mhm.
Why were those more of like um the reality for you to say I'm going to stick with it even though I'm afraid?
Yeah, because I've always like before that, like I said, I was like lost and I didn't feel like I had much purpose of anything really. So you you either like you're in a place where you're like you're like going through a lot and you're dealing with a lot of pain. You either take two directions. You either like continue doing the same thing that gets you that pain and that depression, anxiety, and just a lot of bad feelings. You either stay that way or you do something different and try to change where you are and make a better life for yourself. And I really didn't want to keep being in the same place I was. So I chose to change and I chose to try to get on my comfort zone, tackle those fears head on, and really just try to make my life better. And um, we still like it's never going to be perfect. We all go through those times in our life where we're not our best and we have like doubts as to whether or not this was the right path for us to take. But I'd rather do that than stay the same, like and be in that dark place consistently because that's where I was. And at least now, like the future, like the current me, now knows like that's not something that you should deal with. You shouldn't deal with like that on a consistent basis. Like as long as you feel like in your heart that this is like the right path that you want to go towards, you should really, really try and take the risk, take the plunge to go towards that direction because yeah, you'll live in regret. You'll have all these things that you just wish you did do and you didn't, and that's like way more painful than staying the same. So yeah, like you either in a painful you stay in that painful place or you do something about it. And I feel like you should always try to change where you are and try to make your life better because that's what I feel like that's what life should be about is like going after going after what you want in life, you know, feeling that purpose and doing what is aligned with who you are and what you believe in. So
So is that your definition of purpose? Feeling like who you are and who you want to be?
Um, purpose is such a relative term. It can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, as I've experienced. But yeah, like I feel a lot of it has to do with being aligned with your emotions, because you could say that you have purpose with something, but not really feel aligned with it. So it has to like fulfill you and be aligned with who you are and your values. I definitely feel like that's a lot of what purpose has to do for sure.
Definitely. And so can you describe a little bit about what your life was kind of like before, where you didn't feel like it had a lot of purpose, and then how you went about going through maybe proactively
Uh,
sensing what those little tidbits you need to do to take care of yourself, whether it's your mental health to finding that purpose or feeling that purpose. What were some of those steps you took that you can share with others?
yeah, yeah. So I was in a really dark place, like especially in my teens and early 20s. I'm 30 now. Um, but yeah, during those times, I didn't have like a lot of confidence. I had a lot of social anxiety, self-esteem issues. And yeah, it was just a really, really bad time for me. So I didn't like that though. Like that was not something that I felt was who I am. Like I wanted to have, I saw everyone else, I saw like people around me like having like happy lives and I wanted to like be like them. Like I wanted to be happy. I didn't want to like stay in this dark, depressed place. So that's where like the internet I feel like has like a good has it's like a good resource for today's world because I don't know how I would have found like the self-improvement world, like being able to actually change your life. Like I was just so like I didn't know anything about that. I thought like I was just curious, like because I did want to change my life, but I just didn't know how. So like the internet kind of saved me in that sense. Like, oh, there's like a way. Like I've seen like so many other people like come out of it. Like a lot of business people, like they were at like similar spots in their life, and they turned it around. So he gave me like hope and inspiration to be like, oh wow, okay, I can do the same then. But it was definitely a hard journey because like it was very, very tough at the beginning. Um, for me now, it's like easy, but back then, just like looking someone in the eye, just starting like a little friendly conversation, that was like so difficult for me to do. But a lot of it is just like building those little steps, like just getting 1% better every day, to get to a place where you want to be in your life. So like that's something that I learned through experience, just like because I did want to just I wanted to improve my life, and a lot of it was just like making those little baby steps, and like talking to just saying hi to a stranger, or like I wasn't like my most healthiest self physically too. So I started going to the gym more too, and yeah, just like lifting like a little bit more, like just exercising for like maybe 30 minutes, like just go for a walk. Those little things like accumulate over time. So that's something that I learned throughout my journey, and yeah, just not beating yourself up, just getting that little small improvements over time, and not being so perfect, being okay with not being okay all the time. Like as long as you're like moving forward just even a little bit, I've learned throughout my journey that like, that's plenty. So a lot of it is just like getting a little bit better over time, and getting 1% better every day.
That's really awesome that you took huge leaps, but in micro moments of taking, like you were saying before, risk. And these risks were actually healthy risks because you were challenging your limiting beliefs. You were allowing yourself to open up to new feelings and opportunities. You were seeing inspirational people doing things that you thought you could also do, and you challenged yourself to do those things. And I think in a way, you allowed yourself to envision a future version of yourself saying, hey, maybe I can also like, have really fit body, and I can actually talk to people and have really healthy and good relationships and have a lot of friends, things like that. So that life isn't so difficult anymore. And I feel like part of it is you learning to take responsibility for yourself. And a lot of it is constant learning and growing and getting more feedback. How are you continuing that process of getting feedback today?
Um, yeah, I feel like a lot of it is just like throwing yourself out there and experimenting and getting that feedback firsthand. So because a lot of it is just like failing and getting like feedback as to a lot of it is just like knowing what not to do, right? Like fail fast, you'll get that feedback, and then oh okay, don't do that. That's bad. I won't do that again. So I feel like a lot of it is just like putting yourself out there, and failing fast and failing often, because especially when you're learning a new skill, everything is just so new and so just like you're kind of overwhelmed because like there's so many things to learn, and you're getting thrown everything at your face like right away. So I feel it's important to take it slow, experiment, just learn one thing at a time, fail fast and get that feedback so you know what not to do, and then you can learn over time. Like you'll get that feedback loop where you'll understand what to do and what not to do. And it does take some time. There's a lot of trial and error. There are things you could do to improve the learning process, like get a mentor, or read a lot of like books, or take some courses, so you can streamline the process a little bit more. But ultimately, everyone does learn a little bit differently, and what works for others may not work for, yeah, like like what works for others may not work for everyone else. So a lot of it is your personal journey. So yeah, just a lot of experimenting, fail fast and fail often, and yeah, go at your own pace and learn a little bit more every day. So
Yeah, thanks so much, Jerecy. I love what you just said, in that it's important to respect the fact that everyone's going through a different experience and journey, and some things that you see on screen works for that person may not actually work for you. Or maybe someone said, hey, like I'm able to get, I don't know, 4 or 5 clients, and then you're like, I'm gonna follow your steps, but then you don't see the same results. So can you give a specific example that you were thinking of where you had to fail fast? And then what were the results of you failing fast?
sure. A lot of it has to do with your ego. Um, because like you don't really want to, I don't know, you don't really want to fail, that's not something that you like to do. But I don't know, I guess I'll give an example on maybe going to the gym. At first, like you don't really, I don't know, you don't really see results. Like it's a very slow process. But you won't really get results unless you keep going. And you gotta like realize like you gotta get through the reps. You gotta learn how to do the proper form and your right diets and just like yeah, there's a lot of things to it. So you're not gonna get results not going to the gym and not putting the reps in and not like you're not gonna see results that way. So yeah, something like I'm not like the biggest guy right now. I'm not like I don't have like a bunch of muscle, but I'm in a decent place with my like physical appearance. So a lot of time, yeah, there's just so much I didn't know. So like you gotta get in there and see so you could spark that curiosity as to okay, everything what I'm doing now isn't working. So I gotta change it. So um and I realized like I was going to the gym and I was like not really tracking my exercises. Like I wasn't really doing any of that. I was just going to the gym and hoping for the best and hope I get stronger, but that didn't really work out for me. So um I soon realized out of curiosity, hey, like how to get better? So I found out like, oh, you should probably track your workouts, your exercises, so you can like see that data, so you can go harder the next time and improve incrementally. So yeah, that's something that worked out for me. And I soon realized something that's called progressive overload, and that's when you you just make small little improvements to your lifts each time and go a little bit extra on each workout. And yeah, that really helped me get stronger and get that get results in a positive direction. So um yeah, that's like one example of where it really helped me out. Yeah, and another example is just with my design stuff. um you don't really know like when you're posting like content and trying to build a brand, to build a personal brand. um you don't really know, you kind of just don't really know what you want from it. Like a lot of it is just like experimenting to see what resonates with your audience and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. And you're not really gonna know, like I said at the gym, like you're not gonna get stronger if you don't go. Like you're not gonna really know what your audience resonates with if you don't post content and put yourself out there. So a lot of it's just like, yeah, putting yourself out there, like seeing what resonates with you and your audience and get that feedback firsthand. So um and yeah, I soon realized like having like having my message be about bringing your visuals to life with purpose and having a deeper why. That really, I really found that throughout my journey, and I didn't really discover that at the beginning. So, um, yeah, a lot of it is just like putting yourself out there, experiment with different ideas, see what resonates with you and your audience, and yeah, continue to evolve. So
Yeah, I think you explained it beautifully in that you had to think about working through the process and experiencing those different feelings and emotions, but then recognizing that sometimes your feelings or emotion may not always be the best tracker. So getting some kind of data analysis to help you mark and up your experience, you could say, and stretch yourself further. And then also what I find really interesting is your talk on the work with your clients. So before, when you were working out, you were focusing mostly on the audience being you, right? Then afterwards, you're now focusing on yourself and how you're resonating with your audience and how they're also getting their needs met. So in a sense, you're working with kind of two different perspectives there, which is interesting in that sense, where I wonder, if you didn't work on yourself, would you have been able to work on that experience with someone else?
I would say, yeah, not probably not, because like a lot of it comes from within. If you don't like, if you can't really help yourself, like I don't know how you can help anyone else. So like a lot of it just comes, yeah, doing that work within yourself, and it's tough because like not a lot of people have like that self-awareness to know that there does need to be work on done to yourself. Like it takes a lot of I talked about ego before, but yeah, it takes a lot of like throwing your ego out the window and knowing that you're not perfect and work needs to be done to you, and yeah, you need to challenge your beliefs, and yeah, a lot of like inner work, because like if you're not at your best, how on earth can you even think about helping anyone else, you know? So I think a lot of it has to do with, yeah, working on yourself so you can really do your best to help others, because yeah, like, and also if you know how to like improve yourself, you'll be able, it's like that's the best like lesson, like you'll be able to know like how to help others because like you have that first-hand experience with yourself. So yeah, I feel like it's important to like really work on yourself as well as helping others too.
Yeah, you talk a little bit about like a mental dialogue or the inner work. How are you doing that work away from people? And then how are you doing that when you're with people?
um hmm. So when I'm by myself, like a lot of self-reflection I do, a lot of like meditation, mindfulness. That's something I practice on a lot. Also, yeah, journaling. Journaling helps, like expressing your emotions, and just like getting to know yourself on a deeper level really helps. Um, in terms of helping other people, um, a lot of it's, yeah, just I don't know, like a lot of it's just learning, like having an open mind to keep on learning, keep on continuously improve yourself and your skills, and the value that you can create for others, and also like having no real expectations of getting anything in return, I find is really helpful too. Because when you have like an agenda of like, oh, I'm just doing this work so I can get paid. I feel like you won't really do your best work if you have that kind of mindset in mind. So I feel like if you have like something of value to give to someone without having the expectation of receiving anything in return, I feel like that'll like give you the best kind of work you can help to serve others, because then there'll be really no agenda in mind, and you just give freely, and they'll appreciate that so much because so many people like have an agenda of wanting to get something out of you, have an ulterior motive. So I feel like it'll be such a breath of fresh air when they realize, oh, okay, this person just wants to give as much value as they can to help me. So
That's amazing. The idea of being open and present so you can just give and give from where you're at, and then people are more receptive to receive. And actually, I'm thinking to myself that, with even with meditation, it's like you're learning to create space for yourself to hear your thoughts and um, dialogue with your emotions, like how are you actually feeling, and really get connected. And then similarly, when you're working with someone else, it's like an extension of that version of you, you could say, right? Like the person in
mhm.
front of you is that person who needs space to also be heard and to dialogue with you and not be judged, but to get across with you, like, hey, there may be something that I'm going through, but it may not necessarily be something related to what you're trying to sell yet. But because you're giving, it allows them to feel like there could be a potential experience and connection there. So, is there an example where you can possibly offer in terms of like your ability to give or be present allows that person to come back and say something really awesome or work with you later on?
Um, yeah, like so far on my like personal branding journey, just like putting content out there. I know it's like nothing too crazy, it's nothing too big, but I've gotten like messages saying like, "Oh my God, like the content that you provide has been so valuable to me, and what you're spreading with your message is like so awesome. I'm really thankful of your content. It's helped me so much." Like just things like that just really help me keep going. And then having that kind of feedback is just like it means the world to me, even if I don't get like any kind of monetary gain or anything that results in anything personal for me. Like if it just like helps someone's day, or helps learn something new, or give them a different perspective, or anything that just makes them better, like that really means the world to me, and makes anything or everything that I do like just so much more meaningful. So
Mm,
um, yeah, there's not like a specific example that I could think of that was like really helpful to someone in that sense, or like create like a client relationship, but just like giving value overall, and getting those like positive things and feedback. Just yeah, it's just like it just means the world to me to get that. So and yeah, I've like created relationships, and yeah, like very meaningful too. And yeah, it's been a really fun journey doing that. And yeah, it just feels good to bring value to people in any kind of way. So
that's awesome. Let's bring it back to what you said earlier on, and I kind of said that we'll talk about it now, which is your why. What is your why, and how do you know?
uh it's a very deep kind of topic. And I feel like it's something that definitely evolves over time. And because it's like something that is a part of your identity, and it's something that is who you are. And we're always like constantly evolving. And we always like define ourselves in different ways. Like some people don't want to be defined by their work. They want to be defined by like different aspects of what they bring with their identity and their purpose and their why. But um for me, like I've always like been drawn to purpose, and as humans, we're driven by purpose. Like without purpose, like we won't really function. We won't really like that's what makes us who we are. So, as I said before, like with the creative stuff and the visuals and design, that's why like brand strategy and designing for a reason has really struck a chord with me, because like that's something I've always valued, and having a like a deeper why with your visuals and doing that, like it's kind of like combining like creativity and like like your purpose and your why. It's like gives you like more fulfillment with your business and yeah, just more meaning with your business and your brand. So um yeah, it's just a lot of like I found it just I don't know, you don't really find it. You just it's just something who you are, and then I don't know, like you just maybe stumble upon it. It's just it's not something that you can really predict or really like guide someone towards. It's just like a lot of experimenting, a lot of different stages of your journey that you go through, and you just find something that just strikes a chord with who you are, and then you just double down on it. Like it's really all it is. And I find like I said with pivoting and different stops along the journey, like they're gonna be it's always constantly evolving. So I feel like I think I said it before, but I don't know if this is gonna be something that I do for the rest of my life, but it's definitely something that I found meaning and fulfillment with right now. So um yeah, it's just a lot of experimenting, a lot of figuring out what interests you and aligns with who you are, and you eventually like find the I don't know, you become more aware of what really fulfills you, and finding that deeper why. So
Yeah. So for you, Jersey, guessing based on what you said so far, that a lot of your why, your identity comes from working on your health, um, and also thinking about your brand and working with people on, the content around like how they can tie all that together. Is there anything I missed, or maybe you have, maybe you could also elaborate a little bit more?
when it comes to finding your why,
Yeah, your why.
oh my why, yeah, like health, yeah, definitely. That definitely was a big factor. Just getting my mind right. Yeah, meditation, mindfulness. Being more, yeah, like also being open-minded to like a lot of different things, a lot of different interests. Because you really never know what could resonate with you, and what what could yeah like just find something that really interests you.
So I think that's really awesome that you are continuing your why and it's really serving you. So I'm gonna ask my other question, which is, what are some 2 to 3 advice or suggestions for someone who's looking to start off, build their brand, or maybe even work towards this career goal that's outside of their a 9 to 5? And how can they begin or maybe sustain that journey?
Yeah. So I would just say you're gonna be tempted to learn a lot before you even put yourself out there. I know I was like, and because of and it all goes back to like your limiting beliefs, like these irrational fears, those belief systems that are hardwired into you. And you can't let those emotions dictate your actions. So I would say just learn as like generally learn what you want to be known for and what kind of offer you want to put out there. Learn the basics and then just throw yourself out there. just start putting, I don't know, like whatever kind of platform or kind of content you want out there, whether it's like, I don't know, video, writing, design, visuals, whatever you want to strive towards, just learn the basics and put yourself out there afterwards, because you'll learn so much more when you apply what you're learning, what you apply, what knowledge you're soaking up. It'll just hit so much more, you'll just be so much more aware of how you're learning it, of like these lessons, like they'll just relate to you so much more. So it's very important to just throw yourself to the wolves as soon as you can, and just start your journey, because you'll never get better just soaking up a lot of knowledge and not putting yourself out there. And I know it's like really, really hard to take that first step. But once you do, you'll realize, you'll give your brain proof that it's really not as scary as it seems, because before you put yourself out there, because on the internet, like it seems like such a scary thing, because you think the internet is filled with like these hateful people that just they're trolls and will leave like negative comments to whatever kind of ideas you put out there. But that really won't happen. Um, that's like a very, very small minority of people that'll do that. And also like if you're scared of like not getting a lot of traction at the beginning, that's totally fine too. Like it's all about just, like I said before, just getting 1% better every day. And having the right mindsets, having the right perspectives, to know that you won't be like you won't get to where you feel like you'll want to be right away. And you just need to like really value those small like victories, those small little wins, and just be really grateful for the small incremental improvements that you have over time, because your future self will be like forever grateful that you put yourself through these like little fears that you overcame, because you'll learn so much more. So just to summarize, I would say just learn a little bit, like the fundamentals, throw yourself out there, and just learn to value those small little victories over time.
Awesome. Thank you for all that inspirational message of like how people can sense their own direction for where they want to go, and how they're going to perhaps take on those challenges for themselves and work through them. So last question for you is, who or what inspires you?
So yeah, like I said before, when I was like starting my own like journey of creating my own personal brand, I discovered the future in Christo. And I don't know if you're familiar with Christo, but yeah, you are. Okay. And yeah, he really like helped me take that leap of like all the things that I'm saying currently, I learned from his content and all the awesome people at the future. So I'm absolutely forever grateful that I discovered Christo in the future, and just gave me that inspiration to know like I can make this something, that I can make something on my own, and build something great, like his everything that he's accomplished and all the future people have accomplished, like it's just so inspiring to see. And yeah, he really just helped me elevate to where I am. Like I'm definitely not where I want to be currently, but he definitely has given me inspiration to know like as long as you work hard and learn along the way, and have like the right mindsets, and like you can accomplish a lot of things, especially in the design and branding space, because a lot of I know quite a bit of designers, and a lot of them can have, like including myself, and have like those limiting beliefs as to what kind of value they can create for the world. And he just really helped me know that like designers have such an important place in this world. Like they could do so much and offer so much value in the marketing business world. So I'm absolutely forever grateful that I discovered him and his content. So
And it will be super cool if he was able to hear the great message of someone who admires him and,
yeah, that
so
would be
thankful for this
awesome. Yeah.
experience. But yeah, so I would love for people to get a chance to know you. Where can they follow you or be able to talk to you?
Yeah, so I have a LinkedIn is my primary platform of choice. Like I'm not as active on Instagram as I used to be, but I don't know, maybe in the future I'll post some content on there. And my Instagram is visual.purpose. And I also have a website where I posted a lot of my work and projects, and that's visualpurpose.ca. And yeah, that's all. I do have it also. I do have a newsletter that I'm trying to get to be more active. So if you find that that's at all intriguing, I have a newsletter you could sign up for on my website, and you can get a free little guide, a free visual identity guide that I've built to make sure that your visuals are on point throughout, like while making your brand as visually appealing as it possibly can to your audience. So yeah, if that interests you, that's also on my website. So yeah, those are all the platforms that I could think of off the top of my head. So yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jerry, for being on this podcast and also for sharing your story, your challenges, but also how you bravely faced them. So I hope people are listening to really take on their own challenges and really work through those limited beliefs. And because at this podcast, we believe that you can do it too. So thank you, Jerecy, and I hope everyone has a great day.